1910, Halley's Comet passed by the Earth. The first public radio broadcast was heard. The Mexican Revolution began, and the Titanic was halfway through completion in Ireland. Mother Teresa and Jacques Cousteau were born, and Mark Twain died. In the United States, Taft was president. Henry Ford had sold 10,000 automobiles, and in the northwestern corner of the territory of New Mexico, in a small community of ranchers and farmers that had been incorporated less than a decade before, two doctors saw a community in need for a hospital, and on personal conviction founded what we know now as San Juan Regional Medical Center.
When Dr. Smith and Dr. Salmons came together wanting to meet the needs of the community here locally, their desire came from what they saw happening, people leaving in covered wagons.
They saw all these patients traveling up north to Durango, and they realized this wasn't safe, this wasn't the best care, this wasn't what our community needed and what our community deserved, and then from there, deciding that they were going to found a hospital.
It was a single-story adobe building. I think they had 4 nurses who provided round-the-clock care. The nursing staff actually did the cooking and the cleaning and took the laundry home at night. So there were some very humble beginnings for San Juan Regional Medical Center. And that's something that is ingrained in that pride, in that those humble beginnings really are an important piece of the relationship that San Juan Regional Medical Center has with the community.
Our values help us to work together every day to treat each other that work in the system as peers and colleagues and teammates, and then be able to project that out into the community and provide the best care that we can for every patient that comes through our doors.
A couple years ago, I came into work, and shortly after I was here, I got a phone call from my mom. My dad had a heart attack, and the amount of support,
Sacred trust, personal reverence, thoughtful anticipation, team accountability, and creative vitality. Like the fingers of a hand, these 5 core values lift us up to a greater cause and give aid and comfort to our community, right here in the 4 corners. And like the 3 rivers that run through, these core values flow through everything we do.
Sacred trust to me is knowing that my community can trust the care that they're going to get here at San Juan Regional, knowing that my coworkers can trust that I will show up and I will give it my all for the whole entire time I'm here, and knowing that the services that we provide are the best and everything that we can give.
Everyone who works at San Juan Regional Medical Center, regardless of our purpose, has entered into a covenant with our patients, their families, and each other. It is the most important rule we live by, more important than any budget, policy, or protocol. It's simply do the right thing for the patient no matter what. And while the cost of following it may sometimes be high in dollars, effort, or inconvenience, the cost of not following it is always much higher, for it's paid in honor, integrity, and meaning. No one here should ever feel unconnected or alone. We rely on each other to follow this covenant because the power it taps in each of us is the power to be great.
We have to do whatever is best for the patient, no matter how hard that might be.
To do the right thing for the patient so they can feel comfortable and feel welcome here at the hospital.
I'm dedicated to them. It's all about them because my patients are my family.
Sacred trust allows us to honor that life that's been entrusted to us.
We see the process of healing as more than the medicine we administer. Healing embodies a connection between the heart and the head, between art and science, and between the caregiver and the patient. We cannot truly heal without the active involvement and constant support that families and friends impart. At the same time, whether we're a patient, a family member, or a healing professional, each of us is unique. This uniqueness is at the core of our mission and vision, and when we make each and every person feel important, understood, and included, we will have gone well beyond tolerance, beyond respect, to reverence. We will look for and honor the differences in each person, regardless of their culture, background, or disease. Every day we choose to believe the best about each person, and we will actively and honestly assist their efforts to improve. Even in the most difficult of circumstances, we are still called to be empathetic and caring.
To me, personal reverence means that we respect each individual and acknowledge the uniqueness in each individual.
What other hospital have you been to where you've seen a meditation room here, in the shape of a Navajo Hogan that is here for our community and was created because our community told us that that was important to them and that was what they needed?
When the meditation room is developed, it encompasses that of our traditional beliefs and our culture. The meditation doors face the east, which is how our people build their hogans for traditional ceremonies. And it's in a circle. It's the circle of life.
When you put yourself in your patient's shoes, you get a different perspective.
How do we kind of give that care and give that knowledge and give that information, but in a culturally sensitive way?
Thoughtful anticipation really is about giving some heartfelt consideration to what your next steps would be. So whether that's working with a patient and how you approach the next things that you might have to do, maybe it's a painful procedure, and how you prepare that patient for that, but also then in how we prepare our relationship building with our peers and thinking ahead and planning ahead.
Being able to look at the person in front of you and read between the lines.
Excellence doesn't just happen. It's the result of reflective anticipation and innovative problem solving. Experiencing excellence is about knowing everyone we serve, anticipating their needs, and building solutions into our processes and relationships with the same energy and creativity we bring to emergencies.
We're one step ahead. We're constantly thinking of ways to innovate new things. We're not just living in the past, we're always looking for the future.
We must act ahead and cause discovery, not just recovery, so that anticipation is always an essential part of our approach. We must learn from everything we do and always strive to make it better the next time. Quality and teamwork are inseparable. We hold ourselves and each other to a higher standard, one where our actions are consistent with our values and goals. Our accountability is ultimately to our patients, and it takes all of our collective talents and skills to be successful. We strive to be stewards of the community's resources and will constantly promote best practices. For us, accountability is much more than an obligation or an expectation.
Team accountability to me is all of us working as a team to really remember all of our core values, to remember that we're here for the patient, to do the right thing all the time.
We're not just nurses, we're not just administrative staff, we're not just environmental services. We look at each other as a team. And I look at our new team members and the team members that we have throughout the organization, and I look at them and I can say, I'm here because of you.
Team accountability allows us to accomplish more. Together we can do more. together we're stronger. No one should ever feel alone. And team accountability is getting all your talents together and supporting those you work with.
Creative vitality is bringing something new, something that we can offer to the table that hasn't been said or done.
You're always trying to think of new ways to take care of your patients and interact with them and get them to do different stuff. So you just find different ways that you're able to achieve the same outcome, but a way that's tailored to your clientele at that time.
Employees have a lot to offer. They have a lot of really great ideas, and some don't say things right off the bat. So if you're encouraged to do that, that's really, really important.
We must always look at things in new and energetic ways. We will ask the question, why, before we answer the question, how. Since skills evolve, needs change, and processes can improve, we will constantly reinvent ourselves. We are therefore committed to lifelong learning, to find innovative and evidence-based approaches to meeting our community's evolving healthcare needs. We value enthusiasm and discipline because it's in the balance of these that the most creative solutions are found.
Being a values-driven organization makes a difference to our patients because it goes beyond that care that they expect to receive from a hospital and into that personal reverence, that sacred trust, that thoughtful anticipation where you can tell that we really care.
It brings a higher level to healthcare. It brings the whole organization together, knowing that we do have one goal together.
You're not just a number, you are a face and you have a voice and you mean something.
You do it because you love to do it and you want to see people get better and you want to make their experience better while they're here.
I believe being a values-geared organization keeps us grounded, keeps us focused on what our target goal is, to be the best healthcare provider that we can be.
Sacred trust, personal reverence, thoughtful anticipation, creative vitality, and team accountability.